Hello, everyone. Thank you for very much for that issue here I had with YouTube signing on a couple times. It was kind of playing funny with me tonight. Of course, technology. It's on a Monday. So welcome to my channel. It looks like I've got one person on here. So please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see everything correctly, and we'll get started. I'm just going to slide over a few things so that I have a little bit more room here and you don't have to see my laptop. So let me just get this. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. All right, so I've got a lot of cards here. If you were with me on Wednesday morning, we made, I can't even remember what I did on Wednesday, let alone like yesterday or today. But I put together a recipe book, which I said I would do that. I am going to be making a video, an instructional video on it, but I'll go over it with you guys tonight as followers of my YouTube channel. Okay, it looks like Carol's on and Carla. Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So, and also what I did was in the middle of when I have DSPO and it has lots of little die cuts in it that come with the paper, I need to use it like right then and there or else I won't use it. So what I did was I've got a bin here and I created so many cards with the storybook moments. A lot of the layouts are exactly the same but using different patterns, and I'm going to go through them all with you quickly. I also have a card in here from one of my friends that lives up north, and also a class that I attended. One of my second level downlines had a class here locally, and I attended that. So I wanted to show you the cards that we made that day. So let's get started. I've got a lot to go over here, so we'll start with the card samples, and I'll go the recipe books, and then I'm going to make this card for you guys tonight. And that uses the Impressions Abloom stamp set and dies, and lots of basic beige, and all 5 of the new ink colors. Okay, so we'll be making this one after I get through all this stuff here in front of me. Don't forget about my product share. I have a product share going on, and it's going to be, I can't remember when the last day you can sign up. I think it's the 4th of May, but make sure you take a look at that. It's a great way of getting all kinds of samples from the annual catalog that's coming out very soon, the new one, and also some online exclusives as well. So with that said, let's get started here. So we use the lobster and crab I don't even know what it is. I don't have this stamp set. I didn't gravitate towards it. I didn't gravitate towards the paper, but my second level downline, Kathy, she created this class, and I wanted to go to it because I wanted to experience this little stamp set here that's been very popular by a lot of people, but you know, it's just not my taste, but I enjoyed making the cards. So this one here is using Petunia Pop as the card base, and then we have Summer Splash, and then Pumpkin Pie, and then that's the designer series paper. I think it's Ocean Friends, and then we have a Nested Essentials stamp, and we stamped in Petunia Pop. Oh no, or Berry Burst. I can't remember. I think it's Berry Burst. And then I love the bubbles. I use that on all of my insides and also the envelope corners. So that's one of the cards we made. And then we made this one here. Misty Moonlight is kind of the theme here, red, white, and blue. That's kind of fun around Independence Day. She used the basic rhinestone jewels, which are carrying over to the annual catalog. And then the Country Woods Designer Series paper, that's the wood grain paper. And she had already die cut all this out ahead of time. So these are those circles that aren't quite circles. They're kind of like, I don't have them, but of course I would know the name of them if I had them. But They're the circles that really aren't round. They're kind of like indented or whatever. You can kind of see it's in a full circle. And I had her do the banners because I cannot create a banner for the life of me, the little thing there. So she did that for me. And then here's the bubbles again. And then here's another hello friend card. And here just I did a pretty good job stamping that crab there. And then again, we got some bubbles. And then this one's really fun. I had a lot of fun creating the lobsters and crabs, red, white, and blue. And then again, on the inside are the bubbles. And all of the envelopes have a coordinating envelope with bubbles. So that was super fun. Congratulations, Kathy, for having a class. And I can't wait to attend another one of your classes, hopefully very soon. I had a lot of fun. She had it right at our house. So very convenient in her craft room. And then I did get another birthday card. This was like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. I forgot to showcase it. So I'm doing that right now. This is from Serena. And she also used the Country Woods Designer Series paper here. Not very much of it, but we've got a couple different patterns. And we got a nice little pot there with some Stampin' Blends and happy birthday on crumb cake. I like that. And then she stamped right on the crumb cake as well. So I'm going to try that again because you can get away with it with a darker stamp. And see, she signed it with her name and it looks just fine. She has this great this back side of your stamp. I love this. She has the state of Vermont here. So it has handmade in Vermont with a heart by Serena. And she lives way up here and I live way down here. But we used to see each other once in a while when I lived back up north where she lives. So anyway, thank you, Serena, for that birthday card. Now we will go over really quickly all of the Storybook Moments cards that I created. Let's just go back to the ones from Wednesday. Let me pull those out. Got them on the back side so I could, there we go. I think these are all of them. All right, so we made 4 of them and they're all super cute. And I was trying to go towards baby theme because I need more baby cards for my upcoming craft fair on May 3rd. So that was the theme for Wednesday. And just using the Storybook Moments. I still have a lot of the wild wheat left, but I'll be using a lot of that for this month's card club, which I'll start cutting on Wednesday. But here's those little ducks and the mama. And then here's another version of it. We made this one, Sending Love. This is a paper pumpkin stamp. And also this one, it's all paper pumpkin stamps. I don't have a baby stamp. So I used paper pumpkin. I like the white on this. Also the crumb cake stamped in pecan pie. So a lot of different colors there. And these are just die cut images from the paper. And then here's another cute one too that I really like, using the same pattern as the one previously, but just different die cut image. So you can see these side by side. Really cute. So then my desk was a chaotic mess from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I finally got through all of the cards that I made with Storybook Moments. And wait a minute, I think this one we made also. I'm pretty sure we made this one on Wednesday, maybe Monday. And I added the little gold trim underneath it there. And then on the inside, we got a cute little raccoon there. So another one of these. I love the 3x4s. They're super cute. Okay, so let's go through these real quick. So some are the same layout and some are not. But I tried to use as many die cuts as I could. And there's no stamping involved in any of these cards except for the back side. I think I'm 100% sure on that. I used the ephemera labels that we have. And this one here I colored with Stampin' Blends, Mossy Meadow, because Mossy Meadow's in the card. So if you don't have a lot of products and you just want, like say you don't have a lot of inks and what have you, our ephemera packs work great. Lots of different sentiments in there. And the one of them is carrying over, and I don't have any of the new ones yet from the annual catalog. But look at this cute little mouse, and welcome. And I tried to do another baby theme. So this would be a girl, just because she's got that little pink bow there. And then this one here could be unisex. And then Happy Day, more of a gardening card. And I love this one. I didn't really know where to put them, so I just added them up towards the top. This here is from a paper pumpkin kit, so we always get extra supplies, don't forget. So I added that one in there as well. And these little sparkly gems came from a paper pumpkin kit. And we are going to be having specials coming this week for Paper Pumpkin on extra kits that you can purchase. If you're you can only purchase the extra kits if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. And I heard the special is going to be extremely good. I'm like, great. I don't know. Fantastic. So if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you should be. And you can see a lot of times I use lots of different products from either Paper Pumpkin leftover or just things that I have in my craft room. And there's a little acorns there. Here's another gardening card. Again, I used a Paper Pumpkin. I just covered up the chives there because they had a word down there that's chives. And I just kind of put this one together, kind of a hello card. How you doing? These here are images. Underneath here is the image of the hat, and also over here is the pot. What I did was I took the die cut and added dimensionals, and I gave it a little bit of dimension just to show a different way of using our dies, our die cuts that came with the paper Storybook Moments. Again, it's on back order, and I don't think it's due back until like May 11th or so, but sometimes we get the paper and products back earlier. Here's another congratulations card. I figure this could be a boy. Very simple. And then thinking of you, I really like this one. This can be for anyone. I added in, this is the vanilla checked ribbon, which I had, and it was, it's on last chance list. So I had some, and I made a pretty good bow, by the way. And then here is another one of those sentiments. And on the inside, just added a few little details there. Next up is another gardening card, added in the fence. And then this is the same 3x4 card. As you can see, made totally different cards. I used the same embossing folder, the birchwood embossing folder. I used Old Olive on the card here on the left side, and then Wild Wheat over here. This one is not popped up with dimensionals, but this one here is because I have the ribbon going underneath it. So just different ways you can use your card designs. And oh yeah, that's right, I popped up those little boots too. I like the boho blue, and sadly that is going away. All right, what else do we have in here? I've got another thank you card, and I did color that in with Lost Lagoon. And then on the inside I added another little squirrel with an acorn, and then a sticker on there. Just kind of put a tree and, oh yeah, it's a tree and shrub kind of look. Sweet Baby, that was in the ephemera pack. So this can be blue, or, I mean, it's got a dress on it, but I mean, I don't know. And then I added that cute little bunny with the beak. So cute. And then here's another one, Sweet Baby, generic. And then the cattails there, because we've got the cattails on the front of this 3x4 note card, or whatever you want to call it. I used Lemon Lolly underneath here as a little border. Lemon Lolly and Lost Lagoon go really nicely together. You did it. I figured, hey, if somebody put in a garden for the very first time, that's a great card to send. Now, here's the layout I used for a lot of the cards you're going to see going further. Just because I wanted to maximize the amount of designer series paper that I could and get a lot of different cards with it. Because I had a lot of die cuts in the packs. I think I had 1.5 packs of the Storybook Moments. So that gave me a lot of opportunities to create lots of different cards there. And then here's the hat. And then I did pop up the hat here with a dimensional. Thankful for you. Just more like gardening, kind of all occasion card. And then we got the seed packets there. Here's another gardening one. And this one's top fold. And then this one here is an envelope from, it was one of the, I think it was in the mini catalog. I had an extra one, so why not? It goes nicely with this. And I'm using up my supplies. I could have done baby card on this one, but I wanted to have a couple more girl birthday cards. So this one works perfectly. Colored that in boho blue and then added the strawberries to the inside here because of the designer series paper here, so that it would coordinate. And then on the front side, I just added that cute little mouse. I just love that little mouse. And then I love you card and kind of just the little bunnies looking up there. And again, I'm using the everyday arches. And then this one here is popped up. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is popped up. Adds a little bit of dimension. And then there's the teacup and the mouse. All right, we're getting down there. Let's see, bring in another stack here. Let's see. This one, again, from ephemera pack. And then we've got this one. He's crocheting, but no, he's knitting. He's got 2 needles there. So I just love how Moody Mauve is going really nicely with the check patterns there with the strawberries. Everything coordinates really nicely. And then we got another die cut, added a foliage there. And then this one here, you did it, meaning they caught the very first fish ever. Okay, so that was kind of the bears use kind of, this is so cute. Like, I just love that with the little fish there. So I figured you did it, went perfectly with this one. And got some cattail layout there. And then I added that same die cut on the front of the envelope too. Oh, happy day. That's a great sentiment. And I just kind of mixed and matched a lot of different things here. Used 2 different colors of the pearls. And added a nice little die cut there. And all kinds of different die cuts. Here's more of a blue themed one. Happy day. I don't know if it's happy day when you're cleaning, but some people like to clean. And I guess that's their happy day. And then this one here with the rake and with a garden rake. And then let's see, what else do we got in here? We've got sending hugs. I like how this little bunny's kind of looking up at the bear. And Wild Wheat again. I'm using very vanilla envelope. And that one. And then Best Wishes. That can be a birthday card again. Or not, a baby card again. And then added a strip here of designer paper. And then here's a... So this is on the designer series paper, and I fussy cut this out, and it looks pretty good on the front of the envelope. So don't be afraid to if you want to take a pattern from the designer paper that is on your card. Fussy cutting that out was super easy to do. And then here's another Celebrate. Use the gold trim there, acorn, squirrel. And then this one here, I added acorns to the corner. And then Framed Scenes stamp set, which is a new one. I just had this stamped and it was in my bin. And I thought it looked really nice with the houses that are on the back side of the Storybook Moments. And I had all this pre-stamped. I think this is the only card that was stamped. And it was in my bin of things, so I figured I would put that on there. And then just somebody coming home, welcoming them back home. And then this was another paper pumpkin. No, it was ephemera pack that I had colored in with Stampin' Blends. Best wishes. And then the other die cut there with a squirrel and acorn. Here's another celebrate. Got their garden in, got their cleaning done. And then here's this little squirrel. I haven't seen the squirrels today. Okay, this one I didn't put a sentiment on the front because I didn't have any that worked, and I thought it looked still pretty good. I got the little sheep there that is adhered right straight to the designer paper, and then these two mice here, they're popped up with dimensionals. And then I added the strawberries in there, and then here's the bear. I just kind of mixed and matched whatever I thought looked good. Oh, happy day, that butterflies there. And then this is the textured notes die, which I already had pre-cut, so I added that as a little writing area. And then added this character. Here's another celebrate card with the houses. And then I just kind of mixed and match the front, the fence, the wheelbarrow, the bicycle, and squirrel. And that's it. So with all those that I made, let me see if I can count them. This envelope must go with this one here. So let's see how many I made after the lives that we had. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I like this layout, and I'll probably do that for my swap cards that I need to get mailed like this week. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 cards I made with the Storybook Moments. And I didn't have very many left. And I did have like a pack and a half. So that's a lot of cards to add to my 972 cards that I have ready to go for craft fair. I just need to put them in my envelopes, clear envelopes. And I've already got them all stamped on the back side with our Angel Policy stamp. So they just need to be packed up in envelopes. All right, recipe book. So I did mention recipe books, I believe, on Wednesday, and I said I would come back on Monday with one designed for you. So let me zoom in because there's a lot of glare on the recipe book here. Hopefully, let me just see if I turn it this way, there won't be as much glare. Oh yeah. So again, on this one, I used the Storybook Moments designer paper, and I use the die cuts, the alphabet Alamo dies. And then all I did was I cut all my designer paper 6x4, okay? On the front side, it needs to be a little bit bigger if you want it to be. But that means you're going to lose out on 6x4 because it would need to be a little 6 1/4 by, I think it was 4 5/8. So this one is a little bit different in size. So you have to, let me just see. I got my ruler here. I can't remember what it was. Actually, no, I do remember what it is because I have it all here. 6 1/8 by 4 3/4. So you need one, and that's for the front and the back. So I did not have matching front and backs, but I used the strawberries on the back side because, you know, that's recipes, right? So by the end, I didn't have a lot left, and I just kind of used what I had. But let's just kind of go through it really quick and show you how I kind of put it together. And I have a instructional piece here on how to make it. and also how to price. And I'm going to be doing a separate video to show you how to create this using the citrus paper because I have some left. So I'll be doing that soon. I thought I would have that video out by today, but I just didn't. Wasn't able to. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. Okay, so what I did was, this is the front and then this is the inside. I added one of the texture notes dies and a couple die cuts here that reflect recipes. So the carrots and the little squirrel with the rake and the basket of looks like lettuce or something like that. And then this is meant to write on. So you can simply just take that out and maybe to from, make a little note for your recipient, and then a recipe card. So all I did was cut my paper 6x4 and every other one. So at the top, it's always designer paper. And then on the bottom, it is a recipe card. And you can take these out very easily. Let me just get one. Hopefully I can get one out. So they're loose enough because you don't want them super tight because, you know, can be frustrating. Like the covers are very, very super tight, but the recipe cards itself are easy to come, you know, in and out. So here's another one. So you can see it's very easy to put together. But the pricing really shocked me. So, and I'll go over that with you in just a second, but just kind of kept it all vegetables, kind of garden themed. Here's some fruit, strawberries, recipe card. So you're going to ask me where I got my recipe cards. Well, a friend sent them to me who used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and she did craft fairs and she had all these recipes. And she knew I made these recipe books, so she sent them to me. What a nice friend that I have. She's from Tallahassee, Florida. So again, I'm just flipping through. And also there was, I think, 4 or 5 different designs. So I put all of my recipe cards in order. So I just grabbed them so nothing repeats. So here's the notes. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but that's how I did it. So there's 24 recipe pages. I think there's 24, maybe 25. And I have a list where you can purchase all of your supplies for this on my little recipe how-to and pricing guide. Let me know if you'd like me to do more of this. I would be happy to do this for you. I know a lot of my subscribers are craft fair people, so I'm willing to do this. I love to do this kind of stuff, so I would totally do this for you. I ran out of recipe cards, so I put something in there different on the last page. And then on the other side, the strawberries, okay? Decorated it with some of that really gold, the super cute trim, which is carrying over. Very, very easy to do. So now the shocking thing. So what I did, let me zoom in if you can kind of see this a little bit better, hopefully. I'm going to have this as a PDF download once I have my video uploaded. So, of course, I have my logo there. Recipe book, how-to and pricing guide, supply list. So I got the photo albums. They're 48 pockets. They're 4x6, and they're from the Dollar Tree. And I have a link here right to the albums. So that makes it easy. The recipe cards, the cheapest I found, and you could probably find them somewhere else, but I added an Amazon link here. They come 50 to a pack, and they're 4x6. So you need 25. So that's 2. Actually, my prices might be wrong on this one. I might be able to reduce that. Yeah, I got to split that in half. I didn't even think about that. So the price will be lower. And then I got the designer series paper 6x4, the link to Mediterranean blooms, is what I added on there because it's carrying over. And then the Storybook Moments is very, very hard to find. It's usually always on back order. Another paper that's on sale, that's on the last chance, and it's that shopping. I don't know. It goes with a shopping stamp set, which I already have pulled. But it's on sale for $10 and something, so you could actually make these recipe books even cheaper than what I'm going to tell you they are. So then coordinating cardstock, what I used garden green, and I used garden green because, and this will be updated, by the way, these images to reflect the Mediterranean blooms, but I just wanted to show you this. The cardstock colors, the coordinating ribbon, which is the open weave trim in gold, alphabet LMO dies, you need those. Textured notes, you need them, or you can use whatever you have in your craft room. I added the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine on there in the mini, so it's cheaper. And then over here it says how to. So cut 2 panels of cardstock, 6 1/8 by 4 3/4, 1 panel 1 7/8 by 6, and die cut recipe letters. And then die cut 1 panel of the basic white using textured notes die. So you can kind of see how it's all kind of put together. Again, this will be a downloadable PDF, but I do need to update this right here and my pictures. I'm just going to pay, if I don't do this, I'm going to forget. So I will update this once it's all ready to go. And then on the back side, how to price. Now I will zoom in on this because I'm sure you guys are wondering how I price. Okay, let me just wait and see. I gotta let my laptop catch up with me so I can see if you can see everything. I think you can. All right, so one, photo album, $1.25. That's the price at Dollar Tree. You can buy them in bulk online. And then this address here on the front is the bulk. Well, you can buy them each, I guess, but that is the exact album that I used. And then we have 2 pieces of cardstock, $1.17, because our price is going up, $14 a pack, right? And you'll need 2 sheets. Basic white, you'll need 1 sheet for the die cut. Designer paper was $4.51 for the whole book. Open weave or gold open weave trim was 30 cents. Recipe cards $5.21, but I need to cut that in half because I didn't do that. Because there's 50 in there, so it'll be $2.10-11, something like that. And so then my subtotal is $13.14, although less the $2. So it'll be $11.14. And then my sales tax for Vermont is 6%. So that was 79 cents. Shipping, I added 10% on my total here because I need, a lot of this stuff is Stampin' Up! Products that I need to get into my craft room to make the recipe books. I needed to add something on there for shipping expense, so I added 10%. Okay, 10%. My labor, $5. You've got to pay yourself an amount. You have to pay yourself something. You cannot give this away for free. You make beautiful items for craft fairs. You need to put your labor in there. Do that. Okay, I feel like if you don't put your labor in there, then why are you doing it, right? Why are you participating in craft fairs if you're not going to pay yourself back? So I always put some kind of labor fee in there. For instance, this is $5, and this here is a kind of, I can use this as a buffer if my price is I think really, really high. And for my demographic area, will I be able to sell that recipe for, it would be 18.24 or actually 14. That's my cost. Net price 18.14. So, can I do it? I don't know. I used to sell them and I found the card. I used to sell them for $10 each or two for 18. Well, guess what? Right now, $18 is makes one, okay? So, again, I have to reduce my rate here. That would be probably $16 and then this would be 32. So, my final pricing, which kind of deducted a little bit from the labor, but for my demographic area, I would reduce my labor to sell for $16 each or two for $32. And most people are going to go, oh wait, not 32, 16, 16, 12, 32, 30, $30. So most people are going to go this way. I don't think I ever remember anyone purchasing the recipe books at the single price. They always went for the double price or the two, basically get two at a reduced price. So make sure you always have something in there that one, pay yourself. So I'm still paying myself to get my price down to where I can sell them. Now, if you live in Boston, New York City, those big cities, probably $18 is more like 25 each, okay? It all depends on your demographic area. And I live in Vermont and it has to be more on the lower side or in the middle. I can't go with $25 each. Just I cannot sell this for $25. I know I can't. So I have to find something in the middle range. So I will update this download and hopefully get a video uploaded this week. I have to work tomorrow, so I won't even be home to even craft. And then Wednesday I'll be back here, but I'm working on my team celebration, and card club. So this will come out momentarily, but just give me a few days to do it. But I hope this helps you out if you do vend at craft fairs. I always enjoy myself at craft fairs, and I'm going to be getting a bunch of these ready for May 3rd. They're easy to do, and it doesn't really take much time. The most time is spent on the front cover, honestly. You could use adhesive sheets. I used multi-purpose liquid glue, and next time I would get adhesive sheets so that I can just peel off the stickers, or peel off the backing and just adhere it right down. But I also tried to put favorite recipes on here. It wouldn't fit. So then I just went with recipes. But let me know if you have any questions in the comment box. I would love to be able to help you out. And I could do more of these if you would like. I can also do this as a project kit too. Send you all the supplies to make the recipe book. You can make it for someone else. The pricing, I'm not really sure what I would do. Probably I would sell it for what I would offer it at a selling price from a craft fair point of view plus shipping, because I am making a little bit of money on the adding in the labor, plus my discount with Stampin' Up gets me a little bit more of a profit. Or so let me know if you would like to see that as a farmer's market crafting kit. I would love to be able to put that together for you. But let's see, what are we going to do? We're going to make one card tonight. We are using the Impressions Abloom bundle. It's an online exclusive that's going to be available for customers in the beginning of May. I think it's May 4th. But don't quote me. I honestly can't remember what day it's going to come out. But it reminds me of Flower Shop. Okay, this is dating myself. Flower Shop stamp set was a wood block stamp set. It was one of my very first. But these designs here look exactly like I remember. I actually have that bundle down in my basement. Um, so we've got two different dies that are ovals, or kind of ovals. They're a little swirly over here where it should be straight, but they're just a little bit with a like a groove kind of thing. And then, so this one just cuts out the white, which I had up here, oh, right here. So this one will just cut something like this, okay? And then this one here has stitching on it. Hopefully you can see that. And what this one does, it cuts out a frame. So it's going to cut out the little oval and it's cutting out the frame as well at the same time. What I would recommend when you die cut with this is you add, you take wax paper or a dryer sheet and just rub it around here, okay? Because you could actually cut two at one time, but it's very, very tight getting off the little frame here. So once probably I would normally do it, but if you add wax paper, like the waxiness that goes on the die, it pops off your die a lot easier and less chance of cutting it, so, or breaking it. So there's two of these little ovals, and then these are kind of standalone, but not. So I had to add washi tape on these because it's the only way I could do it. I don't have a magnet plate or anything like that. So what this one's going to do, this is the large flower. It is going to cut out this one here. And can you see all the grooves? So the middle stamp or the middle die, this one here, it does cut out, it doesn't cut all the way through, but it makes all these nice little markings embossed like images here. And then, so that goes together. And it also comes with a stamp. So you can stamp the images and also die cut it out as well. So that was this one here. And then this one here in Cloud Cover, that's Strawberry Slush, by the way, Darling Duckling Cloud Cover. Cloud Cover is using this one. Shoot, I don't know where that other die is because I was using it right before. It's probably on my desk. Hold on. I don't see it. And I don't think it's over here either. No, it's this one right here. It's this one. So you can see how they come separate. But I add the washi tape, and to do this, let's see, how did I do this? I put them face down so the flat side is to me, and then I found, like, I look for some things that are obvious. Like over here, there's a lot of space, and these are coming up. So I'm thinking it's gonna go, yeah. So this big like dip, the V, goes into this area here. So then I would line these up. They're really sticky because of the washi tape here. And I've used these a lot today. Right here. So I would get it lined up because you want that little area in between the dies, like a border. That's good. Then I add my washi tape on there, okay? That way, when I die cut it, it's not gonna move and shift. So this one cuts out the cloud cover. And then this one here is the smaller one, the smallest one. And it cuts out the timid tiger. And then there's two different centers for the flowers. And I found these were the hardest to work with. You just have to have a lot of patience. And so I'm going to show you how big these are. Let me just bring in this white. They're really small, so your chance of losing these are pretty high if you don't have like a magnet sheet like I do. So these two go together, and then these two go together. Okay, and then it's really hard to see right now because I have a lot of washi tape on here. But what I would do is cut a piece of washi tape on these here so that they stay together, and they're always staying together. I don't have to keep, you know, putting more washi tape on them. If you use and die cut them a lot like I did today, you're definitely going to have to put on more washi tape. But make sure that you have magnet sheets, because they're the really good ones from Stampin' Storage. They're really got some magnetic field on them. They're not the cheapy ones. They're not, you know, they're not cheap. They are a little pricey, but when they have a sale on there, either free shipping or 20% off like they do today, I would, and sometimes they have magnet pricing or magnet sheets on sale. That's when I buy them. And you could buy really big ones and then cut them down if you want to size. But anyway, that's how you put the flowers together. And then the stem pieces here, there's this one here. That's the foliage. And then here's one that has two stems. And then here's this other one. So this one here, this stem, is this one right there. And then this foliage is this over here. And then this one here goes to those two flowers. Okay, I'm going to show you how to put this all together, but I'm just kind of showing you exactly what dies I'm using. So I've got everything. I think I have everything die cut out, so it should go a little bit smooth on this card. So I'm still getting used to it, but I wanted to create a card that has all of our new in colors in it, so I can just send this in the mail so people can see them. And then on the inside here, I stamped as two-step stamping and stamped off with the solid image. Which reminds me, I need to get my two things that I have on my other desk here. You need a Stampin' Pierce mat. Highly recommend your silicone craft sheet when you are putting everything together if you don't have adhesive sheets. All right, so let me go to town with this one. I've got my envelope here. I'll just put over here because I need to stamp on it. And then I've got basic beige. That's the primary color in this card here. So this is basic beige. It's a very light beige color. 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And then we have another piece of basic beige, which is 4 by 5 1/4, embossed with a, I can't pronounce it, DAMASK. We talked about this at our team meeting, and I totally forgot to go on Google and have it say how to say it. But there is a right and wrong way, just to let you know. There is. So you have to look at the bottom here with the foliage. There's leaves down there, and that's the top of the flower. So be very careful with this one. I've got a piece of basic white, which is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, or actually 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and that's going to go on this inside. I do need to stamp on that one. And then here is the oval that's already been die cut, and you can see here's the frame and here's the oval. We don't need these to stamp on, so we'll put those over there. Here's the stems, and that's in Secret C. So we got the double one, we got the single one, and then we have the foliage. Those go in this pile because there's no stamping on those. Here is Cloud Cover, die cut perfectly. And then Timid Tiger. strawberry slush, which we've had in the past, and it returned to us. And then we need 2 large centers. This is Darling Duckling. And then we need 1 little tiny one for the Timid Tiger. And then our sentiment label is from Perennial Postage. And it's the one that's not the smallest one, but the next size up image there. So we will stamp first. So we will start with, it doesn't really matter. Let's go with thanks. And sorry, I should put a clean sheet on there, but you can see how busy I was today. I'm going to need Darling Duckling. And I also need Secret C. And, oh yeah, I'm going to use all of these. Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. So what I wanted to try that was different on this card was, oh no, I did it this way. I used Pretty in Pink for the solid background and Strawberry Slush for the darker images. And that's what I ended up doing. So we'll stamp thanks with our Secret C. And we'll just stamp that right on the Perennial Postage die cut and put that over there. I do actually need to stamp on the basic beige, I think. No, yeah, the back side of the card. I also added a message on the inside, and that says for being there. So thanks for being there. And then on the back side of the basic beige, I'm going to add the Angel Policy stamp. And I'm going to stamp that in basic beige. I mean, Secret C. All right, we're all done with Secret C, which is my new favorite blue color. And then we're going to create the flower using Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. And you'll need 4 stamps. So here's the detailed one, and here's the solid image. And then you have the solid image for the center, and then the detailed stamp. All right, so we will start with the flower first. And we will use a solid stamp. And I'm going to stamp that in the lighter pink shade of Pretty in Pink. So we're going to do, if we do full strength, it's going to be too dark. So we're going to stamp off. And then we're going to stamp on the corner. Okay, so we got that little image. Kind of looks like, what's that blue or pink color? It'll come to me. Bubble bath. It kind of looks like bubble bath. And then we have our envelope corner, which I'm going to stamp that same flower. And I'm going to stamp off and stamp on. Okay. We're going to move over to the Strawberry Slush. And now I'm going to use that detailed stamp. And like I mentioned on the die cut, there's things that you want to look for on the stamp that are kind of obvious. All right, so I always look for that larger kind of V area. And I can see it immediately right here. So that's where I'm going to line that stamp up. So this is going to be full strength Strawberry Slush. Let me just go this way with it. I might not get this perfect because I'm on video camera, but let me try my hardest to do this because I really honestly cannot see. I know I'm going to get this bad. Let's see. Actually, let me just pull it off camera. Oops. Let me pull it off camera so I can hopefully stamp this good for you. Oh gosh, I'm still off. But it doesn't matter. It's okay. And then we're going to stamp again on this one. I'm looking for the V. And boy, that's not the one. Because the V's, I think, over there. I think this is the one right here. No, it's not. Oh boy. Let's go this way. Here we go. No, that's not it either. It's so hard. Let me get it closer to me so I can see. 1, 2, 3. Oh boy. I can't figure this one out. Of course I can't because I'm on camera. But I'm gonna go for it and oh, that's the way. Look at that. I did it. All right, now the center is gonna be so easy. We'll close this one up and we're gonna move over to Darling Duckling. And again, same thing, your solid stamp, you're gonna need to stamp off so you can see the little detailedness. So we'll stamp that one and then we'll find our envelope and stamp the envelope, center, okay? And then we'll come over with a detailed stamp and full strength. So now you got the little kind of seed markings. And again, with that one, okay? That is all of our stamping. So let's close up shop here with the ink pads, and now we'll bring in the silicone craft sheet. So I will need that. All right, we're going to work with the embossed panel first and the little frame. All right, so the frame has a smooth side and a rough side. So the rough side is the side that you're going to add your glue to. And I'm using liquid glue for this purpose. And this one's probably not going to work because I haven't used it all day today. I used the other one. All right, I gotta go run over and get that other bottle. Okay, here we go. So I am putting the glue right along the die cut and just running a very, very thin line around because you don't want it oozing out. Okay. Now I'm going to take my crafting tweezers. Make sure that this is going the correct way. Don't put it on upside down. We got it going correctly. And then I'm going to take this and it's basically just going to get centered on this panel. And then we're just going to kind of rub this frame until it gets stuck onto that basic beige. Okay. Our next step is to, let's see, we can add the ribbon. So I used basic beige ribbon for this card. I need to save it for my team and I only have like 3/4 of a roll left. And I hope I have enough to make 10 bows. But so that's why I'm going to use something different. So when I'm adding like ribbon to any of the panels or anything, I like to add my Stampin' Dimensionals on it. And so we'll take 5, one for every corner, and then the middle one is going to be off centered, or you can put one right there and then maybe one right there because your ribbon is going to go in between here. So I like to press these down really good. And then let me grab my piercing tool here and we'll just take these backings off. So basically I'm prepping this panel And now I will take the ribbon and I'm going to put it on the back side so it's flat. Now I'm going to bring in the card base, making sure that's correct. And now I'm going to adhere this on, just center it. And press down on where those dimensionals are. Now I can still move this ribbon back and forth, but what this does is it helps me tie a bow because it's stuck. And the other way it wasn't. So this is kind of how I do it. Now I like to also tie a knot. And then I'll create a bow. And I'll work with it just to get it to the size I want. And grab my ribbon scissors here and just cut at an angle. We'll freshen up this end. And then we'll put it in the middle, slide it over, okay? I love iridescent ribbon. It's so pretty. It's how it shines. All right, so that is ready to go. Now we're gonna work on the focal point. So we'll take that oval and we're going to work with the foliage and the stems first. So I'm going to work with just the single one. And again, I'm going to take that glue and hopefully add it. Come on. Oh, there it is. Oh, that was too much. You can also take a sponge as well. Oh, it's really coming out now. And then I'm finding the rough side. And I'll add glue to this one. You don't need a lot. And then the foliage. The thing with the foliage, and it does ooze out, so you try to put just a little bit on. Little dots. Okay. So now I'm going to take my crafting tweezers. And this one's going to go right about here. That's going to have that's going to be for the big flower. Oops. Come on, get over there. That's the big flower. And then here are the other two. And then I'm going to aim the foliage to the left side, but I'm going to match up down here, like right about there. We're going to cut off that edge. Everything that's hanging off is going to get cut off. Okay, so you can see we've got some stems that need to be cut off. So I will take, I like to use random scissors for this because there's adhesive on there. And I'll just cut this off. And it's still kind of wet. I'm just going to take my sleeve. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I need to get this off. Okay. Then we've got all of our flowers, which are going to get adhered. This silicone craft sheet is a huge mess. That's why this would have gone all on my work surface if I didn't have that. So to the rescue is our silicone craft sheet. Each one of these, the strawberry slush, the cloud cover, and timid tiger, will all be popped up. And this is our larger flower. So I'm also looking at where it's kind of weird looking, right? And I think it looks a little awkward. This looks awkward to me, those two little leaves. Let me just zoom in here. Looks a little awkward, so I'm gonna just keep turning it until I think it's going to be okay. And I think like right about there. Okay, so that is popped up, you can kind of see. And then the cloud cover is going to get adhered over top of this one. And I'm going to go right there. It's okay if it goes over the edge, don't worry about that. And then our timid tiger is going to go on this one with a dimensional. Now we have 2 large middles and 1 small one. When I made this card originally, I added liquid glue to the back side while it oozed out. And of course that got really, really sticky. So I'm going to take some mini glue dots, and that's what I would suggest to use. So these are just my leftover mini glue dots from Paper Pumpkin. So we'll just put 1 on each of these, making sure you're putting it on the rough side, of course. And we'll just press these down, and then they kind of just peel off if you're lucky. This is one of the larger ones, so we'll just put it, I didn't get that one like totally die cut correctly. But, and this is the other one. And then the small one goes on the timid tiger. Goes right here. Okay, so there's our focal point. And now we're going to flip this over and add a little bit of height to it with our dimensionals. So I'm going to put 5 on here because this is a pretty large focal point and you don't want it to buckle in the middle. So we'll add 5. And then this gets adhered right in the middle of this frame over top of the ribbon. Okay, now I didn't like how this was, so that's where my sentiment is going to go. It's going to cover up that kind of mess. I thought it was a little messy. No dimensionals needed. We'll just add some glue. Just press it down because there's all different heights here because of the stems here. Just give it a few seconds to adhere to all those different layers. Okay. And then the inside here is going to go right there. And let me just see, there's a little bit of adhesive on there, and I can take, if you're really careful with your adhesive eraser, you can get that off because I did it numerous times today. I'm just going to finish it off with one of our brush brass butterflies. And I'm only going to use one because there's lots and lots of different things on here. And I think if you add 3, then it can be a little bit too much. So maybe I'll just put it like over in this area here. And it's flying off to the left. All right, so that is it. That's our card. And here's the one with a smaller little butterfly and basic beige. And it's pretty much all the same. On the inside here, we stamped there. And on this one, oh, I used the a different stamp. That's what I did. Anyway, there you go. That is your, oops, I'm out, totally out. There we go. So that is your card for tonight and all those other things that we did. Lots of different cards for you. If you have any questions regarding all the Storybook moment cards that I made previously, or the recipe book, or any of these cards, or just anything in general, let me just see if there's anything in the messages and comments. Damask. Thank you. Right? Did I say that right, Debbie? Damask. I thought I did that. I didn't think that was right. Damask. I don't know. Anyway, that is your card for tonight. And then Wednesday morning, I'm not really sure what I'll be doing because I've got lots to do, but I might have some more of these cards for you. Or there's another stamp set I've been working on. And I could have some of those. It's called Everyday You and Me. So this is another stamp set I'm using for this week. So maybe I'll focus on this one. This one has lots of dies as well. It's a photopolymer. And these all just cut out the flowers and foliage. The reason why I chose this was for the fonts. Honestly, I like the fonts and the sentiments. Oh, well, hold on just a second. This is not working here. Let me just move this. There we go. I was captivated by the different fonts that are in this stamp. The stamp set, like so much joy. That was my favorite setup for, and then Better Together. And then I like how you can happy, you know, that can be stamped by itself. And you got some of these little flowers, just all different things. You got some second generation, first generation, different layering as well. So I gravitated to this one. So I'll work with this one on Wednesday with you. And hopefully I'll get that recipe book uploaded, the instructional video by the end of day on Saturday. Because I'll be hopefully home and not up at my parents' house. Last minute details selling the house. So that's it. That's all I got for you. It doesn't look like I have any questions. Damask with the duh. Thanks, Linda. Anyway, I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to have them say it for me, and now I can hear it myself. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this card today and all the other ones, and I will see you on Wednesday morning. Have a great evening, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.